Looks like folks in Duluth are soon going to be paying a lot more for water. It's a rate hike that city leaders call necessary. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp was there tonight as the public had a chance to speak out.
Water. It's something most of us are used to having whenever we need it. But for those with the Duluth Public Utilities Commission, it's also a source of constant debate.
We've been talking about the water fund and the need for a rate increase for well over a year.
Right now, the average Duluth household's utility bill includes a water payment of around $4 per billing period. However, after a meeting Tuesday night, that number will increase by about 9% every year over the next 4 years, meaning by 2028, each resident will pay just over $12 for water per billing period.
And so that 9%, although is high, it is critical to just operate our city.
The Lakewood Water Treatment Plant is the only facility that supplies water to Duluth, Rice Lake, and Proctor.
The upkeep there is pretty critical.
It is in desperate need of upgrades that come with a hefty price tag.
We have a pile of projects planned out in the future here, starting with some resiliency projects with electrical generation.
Other projects include structural repairs to the treatment center and pipe replacement. A price hike city leaders say will keep the area's water infrastructure solid in the years ahead.
I think of all the businesses, the new hospital and the businesses that use water, and think if our water treatment plant wasn't operating, how many people would be impacted.
In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
There is also state and federal money coming to help make those needed upgrades, but city leaders say it won't cover all the costs, prompting the need for this rate hike. The first increase is set for next month.